Am I the jerk for ruining my sister's wedding by exposing her fiancé's secret? I never imagined I'd be at the center of a family crisis, especially at my sister's wedding. I'm Sarah, 28, the peacemaker of our family. My sister, Leela, is the golden child, beautiful and engaged to Ben, a seemingly perfect guy, yet I always sensed something off about him. Perhaps it was the way he looked at Leela, as if she were a trophy, or how he brought up his ex-girlfriend during family dinners. I dismissed my instincts until I found a text on Leela's phone while she was in the shower. It was from a woman named Jenna. "Can't wait to see you again, babe. Remember our secret." My stomach dropped. I didn't want to believe it, but I knew I had to tell Leela. I waited for the wedding weekend when we were all at our parents' house. The atmosphere buzzed with laughter, but I felt dread. I approached Leela as she tried on her wedding dress for the first time. "Leela, can we talk?" I whispered. "Not now, Sarah. I'm about to walk down the aisle," she replied, excitement glowing on her face. "I know, but it's important," I insisted, my resolve firm. I revealed everything about the text. When I mentioned Jenna, Leela's face went pale. "You're lying," she shouted, tears filling her eyes. I could see her hurt and disbelief. The wedding was just hours away, but I felt compelled to protect her. I found Ben in the garden. "What's your deal with Jenna?" I demanded, heart racing. He scoffed. "That's none of your business, Sarah. You're just jealous." I pressed. "If you love her, why are you still texting her?" His expression twisted, and I knew I had to act. I grabbed a microphone and called for everyone's attention. "I'm sorry, everyone, but I need to clear something up. Ben has been seeing another woman." Gasps filled the air, and Leela's shock quickly turned to fury as she rushed toward me. Chaos erupted. Family members argued, and Leela fled in tears. Ben stormed off, yelling that I had ruined everything. Our parents were furious with me for causing a scene, and I felt torn. I acted out of love, but at what cost? Days later, Leela called, still hurt but calmer. "Why didn't you just let me be happy?" she asked. I struggled to respond. "I thought I was protecting you," I said weakly. Now, I wonder if I was justified in my actions. AITA for exposing Ben at the wedding, or should I have stayed silent and let my sister find out on her own? Would you confront your best friend for stealing your thunder at your own wedding? Sarah never thought her wedding day would turn into a battlefield, but here she was, caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Engaged to Mike for over a year, she had meticulously planned every detail of their beach wedding, from the color scheme to the custom vows. All her friends knew how significant this day was for her, especially her best friend, Jenna, who had been by her side through every planning session. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the ceremony, Sarah stood at the altar, eyes sparkling with excitement. But just as she began to recite her vows, Jenna, her maid of honor, interrupted. "Hold on, everyone," Jenna shouted, striding forward with a confident grin. "I have an announcement." The crowd, initially confused, turned to see Jenna pull out a glimmering engagement ring from her pocket, revealing that she was engaged to her on-and-off boyfriend, Tom, who had been lurking nearby. Time seemed to freeze as Sarah's heart sank. "Are you serious right now?" she whispered to Mike, who looked equally stunned. Jenna continued, oblivious to the tension, glossing over her own engagement as if it were the main event. Guests clapped and cheered, but Sarah felt like she had been punched in the gut. She had envisioned this moment for so long, and now it was being overshadowed by someone else's antics. Later, during the reception, Sarah confronted Jenna softly, pacing by the dessert table. "You know it was my day, right? You couldn't have waited an hour?" Jenna rolled her eyes. "Come on, Sarah, it's not like I planned this. Besides, my engagement is a big deal too." The conversation escalated, with Jenna insisting both moments could be celebrated. "You're being selfish," she shot back, and Sarah's frustration boiled over. "Selfish? You just made my wedding about you." The aftermath was chaotic. Sarah avoided Jenna for most of the night, choosing instead to celebrate with her family and remaining friends. The day that was supposed to be filled with joy now felt tainted. To make matters worse, Jenna posted a series of photos on social media, sharing her news with a caption that implied she had always planned to steal some of Sarah's thunder. The comments flowed in, and Sarah felt betrayed. As the dust settled and the honeymoon ended, Sarah reflected on the events. She considered sending Jenna a message to clear the air, but doubts crept in. Was she being too sensitive? After all, weddings could be big deals, but so could engagements. Was she overreacting by thinking Jenna was in the wrong for stealing the spotlight on her wedding day? AITA for calling out my best friend for upstaging me on my wedding day?
You won't believe what happened when I tried to make peace at my best friend's wedding. I'm still reeling. I'm Jake, a 28-year-old graphic designer who tends to overthink social situations. I thrive on being the peacemaker in my circle, but sometimes I wonder if it's a blessing or a curse. My best friend, Mark, was marrying Lisa, his college sweetheart, and their wedding was supposed to be a celebration of a lifetime. However, there was one major issue. Lisa's estranged father, Rick, who had a history of chaotic behavior, was on the guest list. I had heard rumors about his unpredictability, but I thought I could manage it. The wedding day was a whirlwind of emotions. The venue was stunning, and I was excited to see everyone dressed up, but anxiety was building in my gut. As the ceremony began, I noticed Rick already 3 drinks in and loudly commenting on the flowers cost. Mark shot me a worried look from the altar. I decided to engage Rick to steer him away from causing a scene. I approached him and said, "Hey Rick, great to see you. How are you enjoying the wedding?" He smirked and replied, "Oh, just here to see my daughter make a mistake." I felt my stomach drop, but pressed on hoping to defuse the situation. Things escalated quickly when Rick stood up during the vows shouting, "You're not good enough for her." The entire venue went silent, and I watched Lisa's face go pale. Without thinking, I jumped in. "Come on, Rick, it's not your day!" I reached for his arm, trying to guide him back to his seat. Instead, he pulled away, and in a moment of poor judgment, I pushed him slightly, not hard enough to hurt him, but enough to catch everyone's attention. The guests gasped, and Mark's expression shifted from worry to horror. The aftermath was chaotic. Rick stumbled back, almost losing his balance, and an awkward silence fell. Lisa looked at me, her eyes filled with confusion and anger. "Why would you do that?" she whispered fiercely. The ceremony continued, but the mood was crushed. I felt like an idiot, not just for pushing Rick, but for ruining a joyful occasion. Later, things got worse. The reception was filled with glances my way, whispers, and palpable tension. Mark told me to leave because Rick was furious and had threatened to cause more trouble. I stepped outside, replaying the moments in my mind, filled with regret. I wanted to protect Lisa, but did I just make everything worse? So, AITA for trying to stand up for my friend at her wedding, even if it ended up backfiring spectacularly?
When I accidentally ruined my sister's wedding, I never imagined I would become the family villain. I'm Jenna, the middle child in a family of 5, typically the peacemaker who avoids drama. But on my sister Lily's big day, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of mishaps that spiraled out of control in mere minutes. The day began with excitement. The venue was a charming barn adorned with fairy lights, and Lily looked stunning in her lace gown. As bridesmaids, we were busy getting her ready. Amidst the chaos of hair curling and bouquet arranging, Lily leaned in and whispered, "Just don't let anything happen today, okay?" I nodded, but felt the pressure mounting. The chaos began during the outdoor ceremony. Just as the officiant started speaking, my toddler nephew threw a tantrum. Rushing over to calm him, I accidentally bumped into the table where the wedding cake stood. Time slowed as I watched the 3-tier masterpiece wobble before toppling over like a slow-motion disaster. The crowd gasped, frosting and cake splattered everywhere, and my heart sank. Lily's expression shifted from blissful to devastated in an instant. "What did you do?" she yelled, her voice shaking. The moment felt surreal, as if we were in a bad romantic comedy where the protagonist messes everything up. I tried to apologize, but my words fell flat against her hurt expression. Guests whispered, and my stomach churned with guilt. I had become the villain in a story meant to be joyful. Afterward, I attempted to salvage the situation by helping the wedding planners set up makeshift cupcakes and a dessert table, but the mood had shifted. Lily avoided my gaze, and my parents shot me disappointed looks. Others, while sympathetic, felt the tension. I overheard a guest say, "How could she be so careless?" I felt their judgment weigh heavily on my shoulders. As the evening progressed, I tried to engage with family and friends, but shame lingered like a dark cloud. When the dancing started, I asked Lily if she wanted to talk, but she just shook her head and walked away. Alone in a corner, I couldn't shake the question. Had I really ruined the biggest day of her life? Now, with tensions high and family divided over blame, I'm left wondering, am I the AITA for ruining my sister's wedding? Or was it just an unfortunate accident?
When my best friend's wedding turned into a soap opera, I never imagined I'd be in the middle of it. I'm Jenna, a 28-year-old graphic designer from a small Midwest town where drama feels like a local sport. I've known Lisa since childhood, and after years of dating, she finally got engaged to Tom, a good guy, but a bit of a space cadet. I was thrilled when they set a date and asked me to be the maid of honor. As the wedding day drew closer, tensions rose. Lisa stressed over every detail, while Tom seemed more focused on his fantasy football draft than the ceremony. I felt the pressure, but wanted to support Lisa, helping with planning, tastings, and fittings. One night, while we were organizing the seating chart, Lisa mentioned that her estranged father had reached out, wanting to come to the wedding. She hadn't seen him in over a decade after a messy divorce from her mom, and she was torn. "Maybe he's changed," I suggested, unsure if I was comforting her or stirring the pot. "It could be good for you." "Are you kidding?" Lisa snapped. "He ruined my childhood. I'm not ready to forgive him." Still, she couldn't shake the thought. The night before the big day, she received a text from him asking for forgiveness and expressing a desire to be part of her life again. In a moment of vulnerability, she decided to invite him, despite my reservations. The wedding day arrived, and everything seemed smooth until the ceremony. Lisa walked down the aisle, looking radiant, but as the officiant began, I noticed her father slipping into the back. My heart sunk. Lisa's face shifted from joy to disbelief. She froze mid-aisle, causing murmurs among the guests. "What's he doing here?" she hissed, eyes wide with panic. Before I could respond, Lisa's mother, seated proudly in the front row, spotted him. She stood up, face crimson, and shouted, "Get out! You're not welcome here!" Gasps filled the room, and chaos erupted. People whispered and pointed. I stood awkwardly, unsure whether to intervene or even let the drama unfold. The wedding was officially derailed. Lisa broke down in tears, and Tom, still dazed, tried to calm her. I was torn between loyalty to Lisa and the realization that inviting her father might not have been the best idea. After the ceremony was called off, Lisa blamed me for encouraging her to reach out. In the aftermath, the reception turned into a spectacle of hurt feelings and family drama. Lisa and I haven't spoken since. I replay the events in my head, wondering if I should have said something sooner or even encouraged her to reach out at all. So, am I the ass for suggesting she invite her father to her wedding, knowing it could end badly? I never thought I'd be the villain in my own family drama, especially over a stolen potato salad recipe. I'm Sarah, a 32-year-old mom of two, juggling a part-time job and a chaotic household. My life revolves around family gatherings, where my culinary skills are judged like they're on a reality show. My cousin Tara, known for her Instagram-worthy dishes, has always been a friendly rival, but this time, things got out of hand. Last month, our annual picnic was looming, and I decided to whip up my grandmother's famous potato salad, a recipe I had painstakingly perfected over years. As I was prepping, Tara called me out of the blue. "Hey, just wanted to let you know I'm making my version of Grandma's potato salad for the picnic," she chirped with a hint of mischief in her voice. My heart sank. I could almost see her smug smile as she plotted to outshine me.
At the picnic, the atmosphere was festival, but I sensed an undercurrent of competition. Tara's salad was presented in a dazzling dish, garnished like it belonged in a gourmet magazine. Mine was simpler, but I knew it had the authentic flavor everyone loved. As we gathered around the food, I overheard Aunt Linda say, "Tara, this is just like Grandma used to make." That was the last straw. I felt my stomach churn with frustration. In a moment of impulse, I blurted out, "Actually, I think Tara's using my recipe since she called me to ask about it last week." Gasps echoed around the picnic table. Tara's face turned crimson, and for a split second, I felt vindicated. But then I saw everyone's reaction, especially the skeptical look from my mom, who has always valued family harmony over everything. The aftermath was a whirlwind. Tara stormed off, and the rest of the family awkwardly shifted their focus to the hot dogs. I thought I'd done the right thing, but later that night, I received a furious text from Tara. "Thanks for ruining my day and making me look like a fraud." I sat in bed, replaying everything in my mind, wondering if I should have let it slide. Was I justified in defending my culinary honor, or did I just destroy our family's peace over a dish? Now, I'm left wondering if I crossed a line. Am I the asshole for calling out Tara during the picnic, or should I have kept my mouth shut and let her have her moment?